At the root of everything that Saab did, safety was their number one priority. So today I asked real life people about their experiences with real life collisions. Before we start the video, there is a trigger warning. This video talks about accidents, and whilst all Saab owners survived, some people in the accidents weren't so lucky. So let's start off with an email I got from a guy called Samuel. Back in March 1983, I had recently purchased my third Saab, which was an orange 3-door 99 Combi Coupe. It was an absolute beauty of a car. Late one Friday evening, I was taking my girlfriend home in the Saab. As I approached the crossroads, the traffic lights turned to red. I was the first in the line of cars. The lights turned to green before moving forward, and I checked to see if it was clear to proceed. As I began to move forward, I heard an almighty roaring sound. Then all hell was let loose. To the sound of smashing glass, both my arms were thrown in the air as we span around and around. Then silence. I looked at my girlfriend, who was conscious but in shock. I immediately thought, what have I done wrong? When a voice said, "Don't worry, you've done nothing wrong at all," I saw it all. I released my seatbelt and tried to open my door, but the door wouldn't open. We were covered in glass, and I exited the car by climbing out of the driver's side door window. By this time, the emergency services had arrived, and what I saw shocked me. There was nothing left of the front of my Saab, and there wasn't a straight body panel left on the car. Traffic railings had been ripped out and deposited through a shop window. The other car, a Ford Cortina, had come to a stop 50 or so yards up the road facing the wrong way. The driver of the other car was being arrested for being drunk while his passenger was fighting for his life in what was left of the car. My girlfriend was cut out of the Saab and both of us taken to hospital. The next day, the interviewing police officer took our statements, where we were informed that the other driver was 2.5 times over the limit and his passenger had sadly passed away, and that the estimated speed of the other car was around 80 miles an hour at impact. And we were very lucky because the Saab had saved our lives, as any other car would have disintegrated and broken in half. So, number one, Samuel, I'm very happy to hear that you are safe. It sounds like it was a very serious collision, and it sounds like the Saab did what it was designed to do. I completely agree with you. Sounds like in that accident, the Saab did save your life. So that's the end of our first story. Let's move on to our next one. Okay, so we have our first story with some actual pictures. So this is from Charlie. I was in a head-on collision in my Saab 9-3 in April 2025. I'd only had the car 4 weeks, and for a 25-year-old car, she only had 54,000 miles on the clock. The other driver was over the drink drive limit. Both cars were going 40 to 50 miles an hour, with the red van suddenly in front of me. Despite needing help getting out of the car, I walked away with only soft tissue injuries. Looking at the photos, I should have been seriously injured. I'm struggling with PTSD, but so thankful I was in a Saab, as in any other car, I don't think I would have walked away. Again, good to hear that you made it out okay, Charlie. This was definitely a very serious crash. The chassis leg, you can see, is twisted. As it gets closer to the driver's compartment, it has stayed very straight. The suspension has been completely ripped out, and you can see the colouring of the red van that hit the car. So it looks like that the car did get spun around quite violently. The front end is pretty much gone. The door obviously looks very badly damaged. It looks like it had been pulled open without being cut off, which is another showing of just how strong these cars are, even though the roof has been bent in only very slightly. Glad to hear that you made it out okay, and definitely a good showing of just how strong these cars really are and just how good of a job Saab did with the engineering that went into these cars. 85% of the people watching these videos aren't subscribed to my channel. If you enjoy my content, then please subscribe to see more videos like this and to help us on our way to our first 1,000 subscribers. Our next one is a very serious looking accident. One of my mum's old Saab 9-3 Linear that was sold to my uncle, who gave it to his workers as a work car. They drove it drunk at speeds of 150 kilometers on dirt roads straight into the massive wooden pole, managing to break out of concrete. There was 4 people in the car and all survived with little to no injuries. That is a very bad looking accident, but it looks like again the Saab did a great job at protecting the occupants. Again, we've got very heavy front accident damage to the bonnet, so that's been completely crumpled. It doesn't look like there's been too much intrusion into the interior, but it has definitely done some damage to the roof. but again, the roof has held strong as Saab have designed the cars to do so. All the airbags look to have deployed. The door is completely mangled. I'm not sure if they got it open by itself or if it's got cut off. I think it's most likely being cut off with the shape of the door, but it looks like the back door did open by itself. Again, glad to hear that everyone survived this accident. It's a shame that they were given the car and decided to treat it like that. But that is not the most important thing, of course. The most important is that the people inside made it out alive. Okay, so the next story. I had a wonderful red 99 Turbo and was travelling on a dual carriageway in the outside lane when the car I was overtaking swung out in order to avoid a car, erroneously emerging from the left. The Saab stayed steady fortunately, but had some damage which was later easily repaired. So not only are the cars incredibly safe, but they also handle incredibly well. Of course, the safest thing to happen is to not crash at all. Saab didn't just see safety as how the car crashes, it's also how the car handles what's happening. And then we've got a couple of photos here from people who didn't quite want to share their story, but you can see that the cars really came into play of protecting these people as they are still here to tell the tale. I think a big thing to take away from this video is that a lot of these accidents were caused by other people, and a lot of the stories included people being under the influence. I think it goes without saying, please don't drink and drive. As you can see, it causes major carnage. But that was the first episode of Driven by Saab. This is a new series that I'm looking at starting. It won't be every week, and I am looking to do different topics. But if you guys did enjoy the video, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys again in the next video.